So I want to thank you so much for that question. It's important you understand that I was abducted in front of INEC headquarters, and this was in violation of order of court that said that the police should not arrest me, because the basis for my arrest was a Jankara report by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, a report that the court barred the House from setting up the committee that brought it before the floor of the House. So both the report, both the resolution of the House are a bunch of Jankara documents. It's the height of legislative rascality and impunity. But what do you expect when you have a speaker who can have the audacity to engage in dishonest acts and steal the money that doesn't even belong to him, $25,000, and run to Nigeria, the home Nigeria, a country where criminals are rewarded with a leadership position, and he became speaker. Now he has the audacity to talk about defamation, and he's working with the police to try to silence me. So to me, I call it it was a painful joke, but it has passed. Now I'm out. I fulfilled the bail conditions, and I'm out. They tried everything possible, to have me detained further. But I want to salute both the Federal High Court, the FCT High Court, and the Chief Magistrate that, despite the pressure and intimidation, they not allow themselves to be used. Now I want to let the Nigerians know, if the whole idea of what Gbajabiamila did was to think that he can silence me, then I think he's a political joker. I have had 15 years in struggle. My first arrest was as a student when I opposed the self-succession bid of Sani Abacha, and I spent almost 3 weeks in the local security post in my village. So if I can get, survive 3 weeks as a young, growing up young man, now is it now that I have spent 15 years in the struggle that I will panic because a man who stole the money of his client is now the speaker in Nigeria and thinks he can hunt me? He's a joker. But I want you to understand something. In the coming days, what Femi has done has renewed our faith and our resolve to hit harder and hotter. Like the disgraced national chairman of APC, we say, Oshimole, when we hit harder. So Femi should expect that we're going to hit harder. And all the people around who are aiding his impunity should also know that we are going to hit harder on them. Also, the deputy speaker who even sponsored the motion upon which this whole thing started, even though he's working with Femi, we're going to bring a formal report. The first thing we're doing is to complete an ongoing process, which is about the unfitness of Speaker Gbajabiamila to be in office. And Nigerians have to understand that as a nation, we must resolve to have a national value. Because if we don't want to discuss the issue of Femi, a man who can go to US, a woman that lost 2 legs and 2 hands, are you getting me? And you are not even the woman's lawyer. You have the temerity to take her $25,000 in a criminal way and run to Nigeria, the home where they protect criminals, and then you get elected and you go to the parliament and you even become speaker. If we accept Femi, that means that is our national standard, that outlaws and criminals across all parts of the country can aspire and then lead us. So on Femi issue is the bridge that Nigerian people must decide that they have come to have a national honor and value. That people like Femi have no place being in parliamentary leadership, but rather have their place and seat waiting for them in Kuje, and that is the right place to be. He's supposed to be in Kuje, where he's trying to send me to. So it's funny, but that's how Nigeria works. The bad people are the ones who chase the good people. But I want to let you know, defamation is not a big issue. So it was a valuable offense. I didn't even understand why they were doing all the gara-gara up and down. Are you getting me? But that having been said, the most important thing is that the issue of his unfitness, which is built around when he filed his INEC from 001, which is under oath. They asked him, have you been convicted for any offense involving dishonesty in the last 10 years as of that first one? He said no. So that is perjury. And that was why we went to the upper area court, why we got a criminal summon. This man that wants me to appear the law, which I have boldly appeared yesterday, was running like a baby. He ran to Kubwa to go and obtain different orders to stop his criminal arraignment. Now we are in appeal, and I want to let Nigerians know the matter is live, and I'm going to continue to fight for this matter until Femi is made to go into the dock and answer for those criminals so that we can prosecute him diligently, and if he's found guilty, he should be sent to Kuje. Nothing on human earth, and I repeat, nothing on human earth can make me abandon that struggle. Even if I wanted to abandon it, what has happened has renewed my faith, why people like Femi should be sent out of public trust positions. And also it's important to understand that now that I have subjected myself to the supremacy of the law through the court, Femi should be man enough to stop running like a political baby and come and answer the criminal summons I have issued against him in the upper area court. Are you getting the point I'm making? You say I should come and answer for defamation. I boldly, even with abduction, I still work there, fought through the axis of the law, Are you getting me? And I'm fighting to prove my innocence, which I will prove. Now, you have a criminal summons issued in Upper Area Court. You are still running helter-skelter in the last 1 year, like a political baby. Be man enough now that I have subjected myself to face your own allegation, to go and face an allegation that the Supreme Court of Georgia have also affirmed, for which is clear in your INEC form CF001. But that having been said, I don't want to waste my time on a non-issue. The point is that we have moved past beyond Femi and the abracadabra he did, both with his resolution and the likes of another issue that came up when we met briefly with our leaders, was that we cannot be in an opposition, which is made up of 45 parties, including the ones who are still battling for their deregistration, on their deregistration issue. That have people like Hen Wanwoba, who is a member of PDP in the day and a member of APC in the night, because he wants a third term from his place, which is practically impossible. He cannot allow such people. He cannot allow such people like Ndudu, who defy the decisions of the party on issue of minority leader, to continue to be calling themselves members of opposition. That's why in the coming days we insist that if PDP cannot win the big stick against them, we collapse the coalition, because we cannot be in a coalition where members of the opposition, especially some of the lawmakers, has turned into double agent. These issues have to be dealt with. The likes of Ndudu, the likes of Hen Wanwoba, the likes of Garawe, the one from Boni or something, the likes of Goreke, the one from Adamo. You need to deal with such issues. Oh, I will stop, because this is joke. It's not opposition politics. Nowhere in the world can such kind of nonsense happen before. So we'll deal with those issues in the coming days. But the important thing I need to let you know is that the country is in an utter pilot, like I told you. I don't want everybody to talk. But why not fix the country? The economy is in bad shape. Security has collapsed. Citizens' rights have been suppressed. And then there's a huge line of ethnic division in the country. Now look at, so shameful. And people keep defending President Mohammed, but they say, I don't like him. How can you say I don't like him? Are you getting me? I like him. All I want is the best for the country. Just do what you're supposed to do. And my job as opposition, which is like the conscience of the vote, is to say the truth at all times. I'm not going to massage him. Are you getting me? So I'm not going to lie. So the point is this. Can you imagine Nigeria, the giant of Africa, Ghana, and their people, whatever will happen, they demolished our embassy. In international law, that is declaration of war. Our first missile would have dropped. But do you have a president that can do that? He's going to go and beg them. Can you tell me what happened? No. We should have locked all their embassies here, arrested their staffs. The international community would have been mediating. That is how you show you have a leadership. But I told Nigeria that you don't have a leader. You look at it, you say you are Nigeria, you're a country. You call yourself, can Nigeria call yourself a country? Nigeria is a woman, you can't call yourself a country. Ghana demolish your embassy. What do you call that in international law? But did you see your president address the nation? To be in a warm mood or threatened? He's sleeping somewhere. I told you. Something is wrong. And we said it from day one. He's unfit for the office. They say, oh, the opposition is making reckless comment. Now, where is the president at the time of international emergency? What made Ghana has the audacity to send their caterpillar into our diplomatic building? Because they know that Nigeria have no leader. They know that Nigerian leaders are sleeping. Either they are sleeping or incapacitated, or they are political hallelujah boys in the parliament singing the praise of the executive, that nothing will happen. That is why they have the audacity to go into that place and demolish, without following all the diplomatic channel, and demolish our embassy. Other countries will follow suit. Of course, they have started doing it in different parts of the world. In Congo, they threw away the properties of Nigerian embassy because they know Nigeria doesn't. Remember the days of Obasanjo, those great days, are you getting me? Where you have strong, even Abacha would have retaliated on this particular issue, as bad as it was. But why is the president not retaliating? Why is he not addressing the nation? Why is he not telling us what happened in Ghana? No, because you do not expect a man to give what he does not have. This is a man that inside his own house, there was gunfire between his wife and a small boy, a PA. What did the president do? He said he has invited the IG, who is at First Secretary, to come into his house and find out what is the cause of the shooting. So if he cannot find the cause of the shooting in his house, now where is the report of that shooting since the last 2 weeks? So he likes to make a statement, because he knows he makes the statement, he goes to sleep. The same way he would tell Nigerians that, oh, bandit, I'm going to do decisively with you. He has been saying the same thing since the last 5 years. Oh, Mr. President is angry. Oh, Mr. President has given a marching order. They have it in a computer where they print it out. Then watch it. If there is another attack by bandits in Katsina, the president will give a marching order. And then the service ships will run to Katsina, do like this, and then go back, and the killing will continue. Or they will go and negotiate with the bandit, and the bandits will collect their money to buy more and return back to the business. Leadership is something that is very simple, and I told you, the basic responsibility of government under Section 14 is protection of life and property. That is the basic. That is the only thing the president is called to do. Now, you cannot protect lives. You cannot protect property. The economy is in bad shape. What about our unity? You saw the suit by the southern leaders they're doing Clark. Has Nigeria gotten to a point when they are now seeking for $50 billion or $50 billion or thereabout because of the lopsidedness and the segregation the president has carried on? Because the president from the day, even before he was sworn, he said he will run a 95/5% kind of government. And he carried on with it. But let me tell you, even if the president has made appointments that are lopsided, if the appointments have been so lopsided, but the people have been able to deliver, that Nigeria will be competing with Ghana, with South Africa and other places, like Egypt. Do you know most people may not even worry? But after selecting your people who are your former cook and your former PAs as ministers, as whatever you like it, security chiefs, who tell you have inspired you, kept them. Still, they could not deliver. You should be ashamed of yourself to do the right thing. Because it is people's life that is worse. It's not your life. Unless you can bring your children and let them lose their own life. But you're protecting your own children. You think your own children's life is more important than those people that are being raped. When I mean rape, gruesome kind of rape and killed in their homes. And they put bullets in their destiny and bleed. The president knows all these things. Those lives are important. My point is that I don't care about the life of any leader more than I care the life of a gate man. These are important lives and must be protected. And especially when you are paid very well for the job. The president wears new dress every day. He doesn't wear two dresses at the same time. He gets the killer to be making all these dresses. And these are money the people are paying you. So why not go and do your job? You just wait. After 1 week, you come and show wave hand. Even in APC, where there's internal crisis, he couldn't call a next meeting. So something is wrong. This is not about. This is not a joke. And Nigerian people need to wake up. Is this what Nigeria of Nandaziki, Tafa Belowa, and all these people turn to Awolowo? Fine brain men who has capacity to lead. What about the young men? What are you people doing? Oh, some of you divided on social media over issue of ethnicity and religion. Such nonsensical discussions. Stand and demand something that has value. That we cannot be led by this kind of jokers from A to Z. Either this one is a criminal, or is an ex-convict, or is a former driver to a 419 person or something. These are people who have taken the center stage. The few who has credibility cannot function because they will overrun them, both in parliament and in other arms of government. And the citizens will not come to their rescue. So whether people are bad or good, let there be a standard of leadership in Nigeria. We can continue to be having incapacitated leaders, incompetent leaders, ethnic champions, dishonest people convicted for different offenses, and drivers to 419 kingpins. And that is why you see what they're doing with judiciary, abracadabra. They are obtaining court order left, right, and center. Some will even go up to Supreme Court and become governor. These are the kind of joke they have landed us into. Electoral credibility is destroyed. Judicial credibility is destroyed. Rights of people is destroyed. So the point I'm trying to make is that it has come to a point where all revolutionary fighters in the country, democratic champions, soldiers of rule of law, men and women, especially the young ones who believe that there must be a value and a standard if this must be called the republic, to start gathering. We must make the final push. We must demand, because we are paying this tax. People are paying this tax. These guys, most of them don't have any business. They feed on public resources. They call themselves contractors, inflated contracts. They make money from it. So they don't have any reasonable means of livelihood. They are the ones destroying the resources of this country. They are destroying our future. Today, nobody can travel from Abuja here to Kaduna by road. Nobody can travel up to Zamfara because the bandits will take you. They come in hundreds. They have villages. They collect tax. And these people say they are ruling Nigeria. What kind of nonsense is that? These bandits stay in Katsina. Where the president? Can you look at the president? Should look at himself. The Buhari that people talk about when we were growing up. Is this the Buhari? People were talking about in the 80s. They said that was strong. They can do this. Are you getting me? Look at what is going on. That his village, his state, Katsina, has been lost to bandits. That his governor will go to bandits and say, "Oh, bandit, murderers, please stop killing. Collect some money and stop killing." And then the bandits say, "Okay." Before he will reach Katsina capital, they go back. But somebody like me will make a comment about a group of lawmakers who wanted to pass a suspicious compulsory vaccination bill. I will be arrested, abducted like a criminal, kept in a cell that have over 40 people, and dropped up in the court. But the bandits and rapists and killers will be killing in Katsina, killing in Zamfara, in Sokoto, in Delta, and so on and so forth. You go and be begging them. Are you understanding the kind of Nigeria I'm talking about? You go and be begging the bandit, "Oh, please stop killing. Take some money. Go back to the bush." And then the bandit will take some money, buy some house, and return back. And then the governor will say, "Oh, bandits have betrayed us." What kind of nonsense talk is all this? So this is how they have reduced Nigeria. It has not even under Mugabe's Zimbabwe, or late Nkurunziza's Burundi did we go to this level of kind of business of governance. So I said, having established the fact that the leaders have failed, having established the fact that they have been incapacitated, having established the fact that the ones who are leading even the parliament are tainted, and people who have strong criminal past that Supreme Court of State of Georgia have established. And now ask the Nigerian people, what are you still waiting for? Are you cowards? Are you cowards? When the people stand up, I tell you, these people don't have the strength. They can't withstand the will of the people. But it's just because you keep sleeping, you think it's an Ikenga problem. I don't have a problem with this people. I'm not a beggar on this. I don't have any need, anything that I want in life I don't have. But I'm still saying this because I believe that is the right thing for our children and children unborn, that we must do the right thing. And that is why I keep calling on Nigerian people that it is time there must be a national convergence of forces of the future. You men who believe that the present order that is destroying us and dividing us should be wiped out for a new order through the provisions of our laws. And I call on our people to start mobilizing, that we can still retake back this country through a laid-down constitutional process and be able to safeguard the future of generation born and generation yet unborn, and send these people to the kind of places they belong. Apart from government, some of them can't even feed 3 times in a day. It's government that feeds them. But if you know the place that feeds, just like an armed robber, when he finishes operation, he will lose his AK-47 and service it, because that is the means with which he gets his living. So lose your AK-47, which is Nigeria, and service it, and make Nigeria to work. That's all I'm asking them. And let me say this. It's not because I'm in the opposition. If we're honest to ourselves, we know that what Buhari is doing is an insult to governance. It's an insult to the unity of this country. It's an insult to the effort of the founding fathers of this country. When you talk of Azikiwe, when you talk of Tafobelo, when you talk of Awolowo, when you talk of all the great people, including revolutionary fighters that have at one time, fought for the good of this country. And that even for our soldiers who are risking their life day and night, that what he's doing doesn't worth it. Everybody must accept that fact. Now, you know when a leader has capacity from the way he responds to issue, responsiveness is important. Ask me what the president doing in the villa. Did we send leader to go and be sleeping? Don't you have a home if you want to go and sleep? What is he doing? This is getting to over 3 days or 2 days that Ghana people have the audacity to demolish our diplomatic house, even if it was built on an illegal land. But for the fact that there's documents that give us access to that place, you can demolish it on international, just lay down channels. But did our president address us? Did he do anything? Did he even just do some little gara-gara like the man in North Korea? He will just test his missile if America is going to Japan, so that they will know that he's still here. Just do something, even if you don't mean it. Threaten something. We need a leader that can, in that case, if there's war tomorrow, the president might be begging. He can't even lead us to war, which is one of his job as a commander-in-chief to protect us. That is why the Cameroon soldiers are raping and killing our people around Bakassi area, because they know they don't have anybody that can judge it. If I'm president, I'm not boasting. If you kill my people in what they call it, in Bakassi Peninsula side of Crossbar, I would have raided that place with my soldiers and take part of Cameroon territory. They will be begging. We'll be going to France and UK to have peace meeting. But I would have wiped out a particular village to send a message loud and clear that the lives of our people is more important than any other people. But it looks like the lives of Nigerians is not important to President Muhammad. But that is why he can go in the villa and be sleeping and be telling Nigerians that he is surprised by the attacks by bandits in Katsina, that he is surprised by the attacks and bandits in Sokoto. If the woman selling Akara is surprised, you, the president, is also surprised. You have been surprised since 5 years. They keep surprising you since 5 years. Are you getting me? You have not been able to achieve anything. This has gone beyond politics. If people, who will call fathers and respect, cannot be able to speak out and tell their children that Buhari cannot be a role model for anybody in modern day governance style, then the country has collapsed, because there's no value. It doesn't worth fighting for. Because to start with, the crop of people who have in the executive and the crop of people who have in the legislature are not supposed to be, especially the leadership, in particular Gbajabiamila. And the consequences of having leaders who attend is that they cannot be effective. That is why he can approve a $22 billion and $5.7 billion borrowing plan in 2 seconds. And that's why he can move to pass first and second reading for a bill to compulsorily vaccinate Nigerians, even when he has not found the vaccine. And when I raise my mouth, he will want to go and concoct a petition with the IG and then dump me and charge me to court. But they have not charged one bandit in Katsina. Rather, they went to go and beg them. They have not charged the Sokoto bandits. They have not charged the bandits operating in Delta side. They have not charged the one raping and killing women on the expressway in the forest in Ogun. So this is how ridiculous. They make this place look like it's what they call it, it's like a forest or something. It's not a republic. A republic must be run on constitutionalism, on responsiveness and capacity. But the president, where is the president now? Nigeria, where is your president? Wait till 1 week, he will come out and receive somebody. Maybe see the senior president in one corner or see and shake hands and then go. Is that what presidency is all about? So I don't have much to say on it. I'm disappointed with the country. But I want to assure Nigerians that in our own little way, I will continue the struggle. I will continue, like I keep saying, that even with a gun in my head, because I know that axis of evil has grown in the country. They can't do anything. But even with a gun in my head, even with a 2x2 cell like they put me with the pit toilet inside, I will continue to speak for the Nigerian people, because that is what makes me happy. Because that is what my father taught me is the right thing. If other people's father teaching them that having a speaker that stole his clan's money is the right thing, that is good for them. If telling them that a leader can be elected, he go and be sleeping and he will not be proactive, that is for them. But for me, my father told me such things are disgusting. And at all times, you must stand up to speak against it.